Dr. Kazuo Nakashima, Directors of JIRCA's food programs, will introduce the objectives and the goals of today's symposiums. So, Dr. Nakashima, please.
Good afternoon. I'm Kazuo Nakashima from JIRCAS. This symposium is the official side event of the Tokyo Nutrition for Growth Summit in order to focus on fruits and vegetables as essential components in healthy and balanced diets. As we are all aware, fruits and vegetables are important in the transformation of food systems. They are essential in nutritious, healthy, and balanced diets, relatively low environmental footprints, and contribute to improving the lives of local people. Recently, there are emerging opportunities to apply STI advanced technologies. Advanced technologies such as new breeding technologies and smart technologies can be used to make them more nutritious, affordable, available, safe, and environmentally friendly. On the other hand, many low-income countries are still facing many challenges in fruit and vegetable production and distribution systems. Fruits and vegetables are perishable, and it's often difficult to maintain the quality and safety, which can lead to food loss. In addition, they are in general more expensive than staple crops and thus remain out of access for the majority of resource-constrained populations. There are also environmental consequences associated with overuse of pesticides and fertilizers. The year 2021 has been designated by the United Nations as the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables to raise awareness on their important roles in human nutrition, food security, and health, as well as in achieving the SDGs. At JIRCAS, we are promoting research on fruits and vegetables. We are pursuing the development of vegetable breeding materials with enhanced nutrition and resilience in collaboration with the World Vegetable Center. Another research focuses on building a sustainable food production system with rice cultivation in rice by utilizing vegetables. We are also conducting research on the genetic resources of tropical fruits and the utilization of Asian monsoon model plant factory for optimization of fruits and vegetable production. With these research projects, we hope to contribute in the Middle East strategy for sustainable food systems launched by the Japanese government early this year, and in the global effort of promoting fruit and vegetable production to address problems on nutrition and security. In this symposium, we will focus on fruits and vegetables research and action opportunities contributing to health, development, and environmental outcomes with a specific focus on low-income countries. On the supply side, a range of advanced technologies will be reviewed with emphasis on their potentials to utilize nutritious, resilient, or high-value traits. Research and action opportunities focusing on enhanced demand and on enabling policy factors will be reviewed as well. The global supply and demand gaps in their intakes will be analyzed in the context of issues and areas requiring R&D investment and policy intervention. Through this symposium, we hope to provide a venue for discussions on how we can contribute to human and planetary health through the increased consumption while responding to local needs. To set the stage for this symposium, Dr. ELOUAFI from FAO will provide an overview of the essential and multiple contributions of fruits and vegetables to planetary and human health. Then Dr. Ezra of the University of Tokyo will talk about the opportunities to apply advanced technologies to their breeding. And Dr. Sugahara of Nara will talk about production forecasting systems. This will be followed by the presentation from Dr. Shiratori of JIRCAS on the supply and demand conditions and prospects in a global and local context. Finally, Dr. Operates of the World Vegetable Center will analyze factors driving the supply and demand, propose strategies for research and action priorities, and summarize the key messages from the presentations in this symposium. I hope that this symposium will further advance the utilization of vegetables and fruits for human and planetary health. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Nakashima, to clarify today's symposium's objectives and outcomes. And also, so thank you so much that you illustrated today's program again. So now we would like to proceed to the presentation sessions. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Ismahane ELOUAFI, Chief Scientist of FAO, to talk on the role of the fruits and the vegetables for planetary and human health, to set the stage for today's symposiums. So Ismahane, floor is yours. Please join.
Thank you very much. Konnichiwa. It's a really pleasure to be with you today. And I'm connecting from Canada, so it's really a nice opportunity to join my colleagues in JIRCA and reconnect with my times in Japan. So I will try to share my presentation. I have a video, so I hope it's gonna work because I was supposed to get it connected from your side, colleagues. So let me try to connect it, and let's hope that the video will work. Yes, there we go. Can you see my screen, please? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. So really a pleasure. Thank you very much for the invitation of JIRCAS. Thank you for FAO and JIRCAS for coming together for really celebrating the International Year of Fruit and Vegetables within the Nutrition for Health conference. My role as the MC said, it's really to set the scene and try to explain what's the role of the fruit and vegetable to promote a healthy planet and healthy humans on the planet. I'm gonna use the video and I hope it's gonna work.
Ismahane, can you manage it?
So as I said earlier, let me go back to the presentation. So there we go. So really the task today is really for my side, it's to set the scene. And I think the interest in the subject of this workshop is very high. And it is really to make sure that we have sufficient fruit and vegetables consumption which is a key part of human rights to adequate food. And this right is realized when every man, every woman, every child, alone or in community with others, has the physical and economic access at all times to adequate food or means for its procurement. So adequate food is not just about caloric adequacy, but also about adequacy in terms of nutritional balance, in terms of quality and safety. Most of us in this room at least know that at least half of each plate at every meal, every day, should consist of fruits and vegetables. So how fruit and vegetables support health? WHO and FAO in 2003 recommend at least 400 grams of fruit and vegetables, which is 5 servings of 80 grams each day. But I think recent data have shown that really what we need, I like very much what the World Vegetable Center talks about, 1 bowl per day, which is really much easier for people to remember. So it is very important that the year of fruit and vegetables is a year of hope to draw attention to the need to reduce losses and waste in the fruit and vegetable sector and highlight the economic, the social, and environmental benefits that we can get from increasing our uptake of fruit and vegetables for a healthy planet and healthy people. So when we look at what are the benefits of getting enough vegetables and fruit, we realize that they are very critical to maintaining health throughout the life course of a person, regardless of their age, regardless of their gender. And specifically, fruit and vegetable contribute to children's growth and development. So fruit and vegetable are rich in vitamin A, in calcium, in iron, in folate, which can promote good health, strengthen a child's immune system, and help protect against diseases, both now and in the future. It provides people with longer life. So people who eat more fruit and vegetables live longer than those who do not, according to a large study in 10 European countries. It provides a better mental health. So eating 7 to 8 servings a day, more than the recommended minimum of 5. So if you go to 7 or 8, it is linked to lower risk of depression and anxiety. A healthy heart, fibers and antioxidants in fruit and vegetables can help prevent cardiovascular diseases and also can help in having a lower cancer risk. So in 128 out of 156 dietary studies, consuming fruit and vegetables was found to lower the risk of lungs, of colon, of breast, cervix, esophagus, oral cavity, stomach, bladder, pancreas, and ovarian cancers. So it's across many studies and across many cancer diseases. Fruit and vegetables as well can lower obesity risks. A number of studies again have observed the lowered risk of adiposity, obesity in certain groups who consume fruit and vegetables. It provides lower diabetic risks. Again, other studies have shown really, particularly in type 2 diabetes, that having fruit and vegetables can lower the risks of diabetes. Better gut health. A diet rich in fruit and vegetables and other high fiber plant-based food improve gut bacteria diversity and tends to increase bacteria associated with anti-inflammatory compounds linked to improved metabolism. A higher consumption of fruit and vegetables has also been shown to decrease the prevalence of diverticulosis as well as other digestive problems such as gas, constipation, and diarrhea. It improved the immunity, and we have learned it quite a lot with COVID-19 crisis, with all the information that got how really to improve our immune system. And definitely there are many, many studies that shows again how vegetables and fruit in our diet increase our immune system. So there are many, many benefits to having a diet that is very rich on fruit and vegetables. So what are our challenges to really increase the uptake of people for fruit and vegetables? So worldwide, we consume far less fruit and vegetables than the minimum of 400 grams recommended by WHO for a healthy diet. The amount to eat depends on your age, of course, and sex and level of physical activity. And on average, we consume only about 2/3 of the recommended minimum amount. Many fruit and vegetables are seasonal, and perishable, and are not available year-round. High losses during the harvesting, the transport, the storage reduce the quantities available in the shops and the market. And most probably, we are not producing enough. In my own opinion, sincerely, I'm sure that we are not producing enough, and we are not producing enough diversification and enough in all across the world as well. And this is compounded by the lack of refrigeration, transport, facilities, warehouse, retail outlets, which shorten the shelf life of many perishable items. So breakdowns in supply chain disrupt the marketing of produce and reduce the incentives for producers to grow these crops. Many of the poor spend what food money they have on cheap, stomach-filling, energy-rich, staple carbohydrates such as rice or wheat or maize, or the detriment for locally produced crops or vegetables that they have. Processed foods are backed by powerful advertising that present them as tasty and socially desirable. Unlike many processed food, fruit and vegetable have to be washed or peeled and perhaps cooked before they can be eaten. So eating uncontaminated fruit and vegetable may make you ill. The contamination might happen during the production from irrigation water, from soil, from the fertilizer or the pesticides, or come from unsanitary processing and preparation post-harvest. So government concerned about food security, the balance of trade and geopolitical concerns have focused a great deal of attention on staple crops and export commodities. They have devoted far less attention to fruit and vegetables. As a result, far fewer investments have been made in medium-sized and commercial farmers in their production. So there are also trade policies that has also promoted the influx of cheap imported fruit and vegetables instead of the indigenous varieties and the local varieties. So there are huge challenges both on the consumption, but also on the trade, on the value chain per se, and on the diversification. So how do we see fruit and vegetables to support the planetary health? When fruit and vegetables are really used at the right amount that was recommended by WHO, they are very important, and they can help us in having a planetary, to produce enough nutrient within the planetary borders or limits. The regular consumption of fruit and vegetables as part of the plant-forward diet can protect planetary health in general context. So while the natural resources and environmental pressures of each context differs, in general, nutrient-dense foods such as fruit and vegetables tend to have lower environmental impact than carbohydrate-rich staples such as cereals. And this was again from document and well documented and well studied. So of course we can generalize, but in the grand scheme of things, when we talk about fruit and vegetables, they have a lower carbon footprint and lower water footprint. Per unit of land, water, and nutrient, fruit and vegetable are more effective at providing nutritional security than other crops. So when food and vegetables consumption drives change toward more equitable food system, small-scale farmers and operators are able to enter the traditional and fresh produce market to sell their produce and generate income. And I am co-authoring a paper with some colleagues, it's still in the making, whereby what we are preaching, it's more production of fruit and vegetables. And the idea is that if we produce 35 million hectares more of fruit and vegetables, we can solve the malnutrition problem. So it's reducing the area that is dedicated to staple crops towards more fruit and vegetables. So it's still, the paper is in the making, and we're just looking at all the analysis behind it. But the idea is that we need to produce more, and we need to produce more in a diverse way, not necessarily the same varieties we have right now, but go back a bit to varieties that we have forgotten about. The other components I want to talk about, it's really the sustainability issues around food and vegetables. The sustainability issues compromise the contribution of food and vegetables to generating planetary health benefits by actually making use of land, water, input, and to produce food and vegetables that are not consumed and generating greenhouse gas emission that contributes to climate change in the process. Their economic impacts are substantially, if we consider the cost of the inputs, particularly the land, the labor, the energy used in producing fruit and vegetables, and in the packaging and transporting them from farm to market and beyond. Furthermore, fruit and vegetables undermine the derivation of nutritional benefits by reducing access and availabilities to fruit and vegetables. So basically, in this slide, it's to show that with fruit and vegetables, I mean, sustainability issues are very important: the environmental, the economic, the social. But the idea again here that certain fruit and vegetables have a lower footprint, and as we are maybe moving towards producing more, we have to keep in mind that sustainability issues, and particularly the water footprint, the carbon footprint, as we are choosing the right fruit and vegetables for the right ecosystems. So in some of the challenges we have in terms of increasing the consumption of fruit and vegetables, it's supply side issues related. Our current linear system of producing, packaging, and delivering fruit and vegetable are not sustainable, and this poses a challenge for, again, the planetary health. The top 4 issues that compromise the sustainability of the fruit and vegetable sector include use of large quantities of water, high levels of food loss and waste that end up in landfill and contribute to global greenhouse emission, resulting, again, impacting our climate change crisis. Third, persistent plastics use across the fruit and vegetable supply system that, again, contribute to environmental contamination. And the fourth, it's the high level of chemical use in their production that, again, can pose health risk to consumers. So in terms of sustainability of the whole sector, it's 4, there are many other criteria, but the more 4 ones, it's the water use, the food waste and loss, the packaging, particularly with plastic, and the chemical components. So how could we make it work? How could we make it better? A sustainable agri-food system, it's one that delivers food security and food and nutrition security for all in such a way that the economic, the social, and environmental basis are maintained to generate food security and nutrition for future generation. It's not compromised. So for today and tomorrow. So one of the key ways to support the fruit and vegetable sector is to promote agri-food system transformation towards enhancing its sustainability. So the idea again is, as we are particularly in the year of fruit and vegetables and the promotion of producing more, eating more, we have to do it the sustainable way so that we are aligning with the global development agenda, and we are aligning with the climate agenda as well as the biodiversity agenda and the food and nutrition security agenda. The other challenge with fruit and vegetables, it's food safety. Assuring the food safety of fruit and vegetable, it's very key to ensuring their contribution to human and environmental health. WHO estimate that every year we have about 600 million people, or 1 in every 10 people, that fall ill due to eating unsafe food. Children under 5 account for a third part of those people. So unsafe food causes more than 200 different acute and chronic diseases, with the burden of unsafe food that is disproportionately affecting vulnerable and marginalized people. So the diseases are caused by physical and chemical hazards, such as toxins, pesticides, vet drugs, residues, or by biological hazards, such as bacteria, viruses, and parasites. Minimizing the risk of microbial and chemical contamination during the production and handling of fruit and vegetable is of utmost importance in reducing food safety risk that could compromise both human and environmental health. So managing fruit and vegetable quality from production to consumption contribute to enhancing their shelf life and to the derivation of economic benefit by producers and handlers, as well as social benefit from better quality of food in the market. So we need necessarily also to reduce food loss and waste in a sustainable manner. And to do so, we need to increase access to healthy diet. We need to make efficient use of natural resources, and we need to reduce impact on the environment. Reducing food loss and waste in fruit and vegetable in a sustainable manner has the potential to generate triple wins across all dimensions of hunger targets. And you see it here in this graph. It shows how really doing so can help us in many targets, particularly target 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, and 2.4 that are under the SDG 2. So what type of innovation we have that we need right now and that we have in terms of innovation, in terms of moving forward with this agenda? So we need innovation that allow for collection of data to inform strategies, to inform approaches that targeted to reducing food and waste in general in fruit and vegetables, and to inform policy development to influence both the supply and demand side action to assure the derivation of economic, social, and environmental benefits in the fruit and vegetable sector. We need innovation along the food chain that create new products, services, business models, and technologies that drive sustainability in the fruit and vegetable supply chain. Innovation that allow for the real-time tracking and tracing of food and vegetable supply chain toward assuring food safety are very important. So traceability and use of digital data for refining that traceability model and having it worldwide, not only in certain countries, because we know traceability, particularly of fruit and vegetables, is quite strong in most of the OECD countries, but we need it globally. And I think we do have the innovation, but we need to apply it. In particular, we need to strengthen capacities to adopt sustainable, innovative approaches and technologies to combat food loss and waste in fruit and vegetable chain, and to implement circular strategies that generate beneficial health and environmental impacts. So I want to leave you also with some food for thought. And I think really we all agree now here in this particular workshop that improving nutrition across many regions of the globe hinges upon increasing fruit and vegetables intake as key constituents of healthy diets. And I think there's no better time to say it than COVID-19, where we had a lot of doctors and a lot of videos telling us how important it is for us to increase our immune system and to be stronger to eat more fruit and vegetables. So increasing consumption could lead to a win-win scenario for the health of both people and the planet, if it is accompanied by concerted efforts and investment to increase production and productivity in the sector. At the same time, however, such efforts need to decrease the environmental footprint, improve harvesting, handling, storage, and distribution to reduce loss and waste, maintain quality, particular nutrition and nutritive, and increase shelf lives and educate consumers on the health benefit to be derived from increased consumption of fruit and vegetables. I would add we need also a lot of more research on fruit and vegetables. We don't understand completely the nutrition behind it. We do know some components, but there are many unknown, and we need more research to understand really what we mean by nutrition and what we mean by keeping that nutrition available and keep it and bioavailable for people for human health. Reducing loss and waste in value chain can also reduce the environmental footprint, and if properly implemented, save consumers money. Conducive policy grounded in data, partnership, and capacity development are key to promoting sustainable production and consumption. And the International Year of Fruit and Vegetables this year in 2021 provide countries and actors throughout the food system considerable opportunities to act and make a difference within the sector, as well as to promote healthy diet for adequate nutrition. And I would add at the end, it's also very important that we make sure that fruit and vegetables are affordable at the local level. So many of the producers, the small scale producer, will sell it instead of eating it because it's again, they can buy with their money staple crops that are filling their tummies without the right nutrition for them. So what's the way forward? So the way forward for us is that we need policies to increase investment on fruit and vegetable production. And particularly that could be done by subsidies, infrastructure development, by subsidies, through the subsidies or through the infrastructure development. We need policies to increase availability and affordability of fruit and vegetables. We need policies and programs on awareness raising on nutrition and health benefit of fruit and vegetables. And we need also control of marketing of unhealthy food and beverages. So there are many fast food that are making it based on fruit to make it sell better, whereas it's not the correct information. So I think the control of the marketing of fast food and the control of marketing with private sector at large could play a big role. So what the way forward in terms of supply side? On the supply side, we need policies to reduce food loss and waste in a sustainable manner. We need policies to support the shift from a linear to a circular models and circular economies, both for the production and consumption. And we need investment in infrastructure, in technology, in data, and in capacity development. And again, across the globe, not only in certain countries, but particularly in the least and middle income countries as well. With that, I want to really thank you for your attention, but I want to also thank my colleagues from GIRCAS, particularly Professor Dr. Iwanaga, that used to be a good friend and still is a good friend, but also the actual president of
Ismahane, are you muted? Well, thank you very much, Ismahane, for very stimulating presentation and for providing that audience today your overview of the essential and the multiple contribution of the fruits and the vegetables to our health, while highlighting the importance of science, technologies, and innovations to make fruits and vegetables more nutritious, universally affordable, and safe, as well as good for the environment. And quite unfortunately, finally now that your voice has been muted, but your kind message to the GIRCAS. So thank you so much. So time is running. So now I would like to introduce the next speakers, Professor Hiroshi Ezura from the University of Tsukuba to talk on high GABA tomatoes, a case study to apply the new breeding technologies to the fruits and vegetable improvement. So, Professor Ezura, please join us. Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much for the introduction. And first of all, I would like to appreciate the organizer to invite me to give me a chance to introduce our exciting recent result from the new plant breeding. As mentioned in previous speaker, that there is a lot of needs for technology to improve vegetable and fruits. And today I'm going to introduce a new breeding technologies, which is a potential fast breeding techniques for the improving fruits and vegetable. And today my talk is it's a case study of application of gene editing technology for the tomato improvement, especially for the nutritional qualities. And okay. So I think that for the breeding, the motivation is very, very important. So in this slide, I would like to show some current situation of population in Japan. And everybody know that the world population is going to increase up to about 10 billion in 2050. So that's why we need to produce a lot of food. That is, I think, a global agreement. But if you see the Japanese population, here you can see the change of Japanese population from 1950 to we're expecting to 2050. The Japanese population peak was 2010, and that after the population is getting reduced. So this is and then we are expecting we are going to lose maybe 20 to 30% of population we will lost in the 2050. And here is another graphs showing the population changes in Japan. And in 1975, we have a lot of young generation, the population structure like a pyramid, as you can see here. But that after that, we are increasing a lot of aged peoples, and then now we are 2021 around here. So we have a lot of people, aging people are here in Japan, and then we are expecting the more than 40 people is aging in aged people. Mean in Japan is more than 65 years old, and we have a lot of people, aged people in the 2050. In addition to the population structure changes, we have a huge changes of food habit. In the 1975, we are eating a lot of carbohydrates like rice and wheat. But depending on the economic growth, we start eating a lot of fat and or protein. And those changes of population, it's resulting in the increase of lifestyle-related diseases like high blood pressure, obesity, and diabetics. To overcome, of course, we can somehow overcome by medical care, lifestyle-related diseases. But alternative way is to promote our health through our daily food. So that means that we need to supply healthy food for the daily diet. And I'm surprised that I have many collaboration with developing countries, and this situation is the same in other developing countries. For instance, my friend in Indonesia, they say that 1/3 of the population suffering from high blood pressures. It is a huge amount. So that's I think this is a problem in Japan, but this is if we can overcome this situation in Japan, our experience will be useful for other developing countries. Okay, so based on this situation, my laboratory is now trying to understanding a molecular mechanism in important breeding trait in tomato, such as a shelf life. Maybe we can extend shelf life, which can contribute to reduce the food loss, and also a fruit setting that can be contribute to the grow tomato in the harsh high temperature conditions, and so on. And then we are very interested in the nutritional content of tomato. As everybody knows that the tomato contain a different kind of nutrition which can promote our human health, which include like famous one is the lycopene and the vitamin C. But the GABA, this is a kind of amino acid which is a very famous functional ingredient in Japan so far. So we are interested in this GABA accumulation in the tomato fruits, and we wanted to increase this content in tomato fruits. Here you can see what is a GABA. GABA is a gamma aminobutyric acid, which is a non-proteogenic amino acid and found in all organisms and involved in biotic and abiotic stress responses in those organisms. But for human, GABA functions as a neurotransmitter. That means that when we orally take this GABA, which can reduce the blood pressure and also induce relaxation. Because of this function, Japanese many food companies are using this GABA as a food additive in their food products. And in Japan, many GABA-added fruits has been commercialized already. According to a recent count, it's over 400 kind of GABA-added food has been commercialized already in Japan. So that means the GABA is a well-known functional ingredient for Japanese people. So that's why we focused on this GABA. And my laboratory spent a lot of time to understanding how tomato accumulate GABA in the tomato fruits. And then we got some conclusion and the key genes which can regulate the GABA accumulation in tomato fruits. So, and then we also identified the key genes which can regulate the GABA accumulation in tomato fruits. And then we did some biochemical analysis. Then we got the idea. We found that this enzyme, GABA biosynthetic enzyme, which has a specific structure in the protein, which we call an autoinhibitory domain. This autoinhibitory domain replaces the activity of this enzyme. But if we delete this small fragment from this enzyme protein, which can show the higher enzyme activity, and then we got this basic information about how to regulate the activity of this enzyme. Then 2012, the new technologies, mutation breeding techniques, we call a gene editing technology, which is a technology to introduce a mutation in a target gene. It's precisely and effectively. And this technology has been awarded a Nobel Prize in Chemistry last year, 2020, to those two scientists, one from French and one from America. And so we decided to use these techniques because of its efficient and easy to handling. And then we use their technique, CRISPR-Cas9, to introduce some mutation in the target gene, which is a GABA synthetic genes. This is a CRISPR-Cas9 technology, you can see. And we introduced a point mutation into the GAD3 genes, which is a gene coding GABA biosynthetic genes. That we introduced the just in front of the AID domain, a mutation into the just in front of AID domain, and then to delete this inhibitory domain. So as you can see here in this graph, the vertical scale show the GABA accumulation in the tomato fruits. And the wild type is the original GABA content in the original line, and the other line shows the GABA content in the mutant line created by this CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing technology. As you can clearly see that those mutants show higher GABA accumulation, which is 5 to 7 to 15 times higher than the original GABA content. So as you know that the tomato has been used as a F1 hybrid as a crop. So that's why we made F1 hybrid with our high GABA tomato line and with other parental line and made F1 hybrid. And we are expecting that this high GABA trait should be a dominant trait. And so that's F1 hybrid show higher GABA accumulation. And then we evaluated the GABA content in the F1 hybrid. So in this slide, you can see three lines, and the white bar show the control line, and the other two lines show a F1 hybrid created by high GABA line. And we measure the GABA content mature green stages and breaker stages and red ripe stages where we harvest the tomato fruits. And as clearly you can see here, the F1 hybrid line created by high GABA parental line, it shows a higher GABA accumulation, which is 4 to 5 times higher GABA accumulation. The actual amount is this amount. And up to here, we obtained the proof of concept. We established a proof of concept experiment technology for the increase of GABA content in the tomato fruits. And then, so this CRISPR-Cas9 technology is a patented technology with Nobel laureate. So that's when we develop a commercial cultivar using these new techniques, actually, so we need to get the license. And according to the Japanese rules, the national university cannot get the commercial license. So that's why we decided to establish the spin-out company from our venture company from our university. And then we established a spin-out company in 2018. The name is Sanatec Seed. And this company get a license from the patent holder and then apply our technology to improve the improve the GABA content in actual tomato cultivar. The Sicilian Rouge, this is original tomato cultivar already commercialized in Japan, which is already sold as a normal tomato in the Japanese super or grocery stores. Then we increased the GABA content of this parental line and then made a new F1 hybrid line with a high GABA content that we named it the Sicilian Rouge high GABA. And then we finished the notification to the Japanese government for environmental safety and also food safety last December 11. And then we could start the commercialization as a normal tomato after that notification. And actually, this is the first gene-edited crops commercialized, which is made by CRISPR-Cas9, the world first gene-edited crops commercialized all over the world, I think. So, but anyway, so after development of this, here you can see the brief explanation of the regulation of this gene-edited crop in Japan. So developer have to make a prior consultation with two ministry, Ministry of Agriculture and Health, Food and Fisheries, and also Ministry of Health and Welfare. We need to get the consultation from two ministries for environmental safety and also the food safety. And in addition, we also need to get the food safety consultation for the MAF. Then the company did fortunately, the Japanese government established these regulation rule in 2019, and then the company started the prior consultation 2019. And last December 11, this company finished the prior consultation and then completed the notification to those government. Then now we can eat this tomato in Japan as a normal tomato so far. Okay, and then we got this kind of certificate from both for environmental safety and also food safety and the feed safety from the two ministry, as you can see here, which is December 11, last December, almost 1 year ago. And then this company started commercialization, and we discussed about the labeling about the new product. According to the Japanese rule, the labeling is not a mandate, but this is the first crop, so that's why we decided to make a labeling here and provide information to the consumers. This product is produced by gene editing, and a notification to ministries has been completed. The consumer can obtain this information from these labels. And then actually, we discussed about how we can provide these actual products to the consumers. According to the traditional supply chain, a seed company provides seed to farmers, farmer grows, and then a farmer sells the fruits to supermarket, and then consumer buy those fruits. But this is a new technologies. During the workshop for last 3 to 4 years, there is a many positive people for these new techniques, but some people is concerning. So that's why we decided to directly deliver our products to the consumers. Okay, sorry. Okay, and then so we decided to initially provide a free sample to the home gardeners, our gene-edited tomato, and then we announced that free sample. Then surprisingly, we had more than 5,000 applications all over the world, throughout the world, Japan, and then we provided finally provided these seedlings, culture kit, cultivation kit for more than 4,000 home gardeners, and they grow this year, and they quite enjoy it. And we made a we wanted to get a direct reply from the those home gardeners. We made a social media group like this, and then we could get a direct response from those consumers, and they look very, very positive. And according to discussion, those home gardeners request us to provide sell fresh fruits. So that's why we start selling fresh fruit this September 15 this year. And also they're also asking seedlings for the next year home gardening. Then we start booking for October 11. And also they ask us to provide some processed food. And then we are going to sell and prepare some processed tomato, and then we start selling this month actually. Through this activity, I think that at the initial stage of the commercialization, our gene-edited tomato, high GABA tomato, is quite pretty good as a initial stage of commercialization. So I hope that this new technique has been accepted for Japanese consumers, and then this technology can contribute to sustainable food production all over the world. So this is my last message: is a new era of rapid and precise breeding gene editing. Now we have, and then GE gene editing allows us to breed fruits and vegetables for nutritional foods. Okay, thank you for. I'm sorry to be 2 minutes over my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. That's all.
Oh, so thank you very much, Professor Izura, and also for quite good time management. Thank you for your presentation with the valuable insight on applying the new breeding technologies for fruits and vegetables to utilize and nutritious and resilient and high-value trait. So it's quite a range of the content, from demographic change to also to providing that is a new product on the market.